countries and their geopolitical rival in geopolitics, although they influence other tribes from and their and then those tribes get a bunch of things. It's a reward system. It's a reward system basically. They are basically tribal confederations or settled countries. For example, blue team is tribal. It's more of a tribal confederation, and the red country is more of a kingdom than anything else. The map is pretty small and nothing big is happening here. The series will be incredibly long. So let's move to humanity itself. It only controls Mesopotamia by this point, and they're gonna start exploring and colonizing minor territories here. They fully colonized and settled down Syria and are moving down the red team that's falling right. The blue team decides to move south and conquer the Basra coast. The Basra coast is incredibly easy to conquer, and they are now pretty strong, and strong enough to combat the red team and its allies in warfare. They are just diplomatic fights with minor tribal war, and they are basically in a cold war for basically 500 years. Pretty long time, of course. This is early human history. Red team moves up north into the Tigris and the Euphrates and the middle areas. So basically northern Mesopotamia, and then they meet. They meet at the border. At this point in time, there's no actual occupation. There's just conquest, since there's no peace treaties that won't be developed for a long time. Speaking of the red team, a bunch of new cities will pop up there. Their governments are basically the same that won't matter until pretty much next era. I don't know what era this is. So a bunch of new cities will pop up in the new colonized areas. Basically, they're pretty strong. Not that strong, but strong. They expanded territorially and have a massive population. But some of them are outcasts. They move east and interbreed with the Syrian people. This causes the formation of the yellow team. This country is pretty much in Syria, just in the Euphrates, and they're gonna expand their tribal empire into the east and form Syria, basically. They have united all the Syrian tribes. Some people are not very happy about this, but most of them are, as they now bring stable and unified leadership. They have new cities pop up due to their massive population boom from the prisoners that flee north to this canal, this drinking. No, this is inaccurate. Let's use the normal wicso color for these types of cities, and that's this. The red, as we move up north, we enter these areas, as the Euphrates and Tigris are entering their end. Nothing large is gonna happen. So they expand into modern day Edessa and just a bit north. These three powers are the backbone of this new human civilization. The yellow and the red teams are pretty similar in ethnics, with the blues because they are intermixed with the local Syrians and the escapees and the escaped slaves, because slavery is now, of course, a thing. During this period, this is the Copper Age, by the way. By this point, we have entered the Copper Age, no longer stone tools and shit. And it is copper in the south of Egypt, in the Sinai Peninsula. The discovery of copper in the Sinai Peninsula, these most explorations start with this copper peninsula, and then they discover the Nile. Then they explore the more of the Sinai and the more copper. Copper becomes these tribes monopolizing trade. They start to explore the Nile River, discovering this massive oasis, which is basically a minor city. So city-states start to form in the north. These city-states eventually form into a federation in the far south. Here, this is what, bro? Aru Gabrieli kuya Goni Gabrieli kuya. They expand over the Sinai and they control the Sinai, but in the Nile they are resisted by a new tribal coalition, that being the north of Egypt. The Sinai and the north of Egypt become incredible for trade and other things. One of the most important areas becomes the mines and the rivers. They become incredibly important for both nations. They developed intricate trade routes and some minor trade routes start forming between the Syrians. The Syrians trying to secure this new form of copper in the trade and monopolize them to the much more populous Mesopotamian nations starts to move south, but they are resisted by a few tribes who form this country. This country quickly, no, not I don't know what it's called. Let's have the green tea. Green team quickly rises here, and they start combating the Syrians, becoming a middleman in this copper trade. They center their capital around here, where real life Jericho is. It was. I don't know if Jericho still exists. And that's basically it. They have cities and things. The Nile population boom happens, and along with that, the stream of Euphrates becomes incredibly more and more populous. The red team starts expanding in the east. To the east and reaching the Euphrates. After this, they discovered the myth of the forest and the vines.